Now, let's talk about impressing possible employers on your interview. Today's guest is an image strategist and the founder of Mikado, a personal styling firm. Welcome, Jordan Stolch.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm
And
so excited to talk about this topic.
I'm excited to have you. Now, let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
If I have a job interview, in person, Zoom, either, or what should I wear?
Well, I think we should talk about Zoom today because that's what's really happening right now, and that's what's tripping a lot of people up. So the first thing you want to think about is aligning with expectations. Even though we've been working from home, which is almost like 10 months now, which
Yeah.
is hard to believe, expectations of a great interview still predate the Zoom era. So in order to win that virtual first impression, you want to try to recreate what used to be happening in person to the best of your ability. So you want that person on the other side of the screen to almost subconsciously associate what they're seeing with the level of professionalism they saw before. So they know you're at home, but for the course of this interview, we almost want them to forget. We want to dress the exact same way we would have before. We want to test that device ahead of time so that we know our lighting is good, our video is good. And then most importantly, the biggest mistake I'm seeing is that we want to show our space to look like a workspace and not a personal space. So no bed in the background, no dog running around, nothing that gives them a glimpse into, what our personal life might look like and what we don't want them to see.
Interesting. Do you think asking about dress code is a valid question during, an interview prior to the interview, especially in the Zoom? Because you mentioned there's still customs in place that predate the Zoom era, but we're in the Zoom era. Is it a valid question? Should you ask? Should you just go by what you think?
Yeah, super valid question and so important. Dress code is everything. And when we think about millennials and Gen Zers, we think about people that often miss this piece. They take business casual from just business to like too far casual and then beyond. So I'd recommend either asking if you can, if it feels appropriate, or trying to do research. So look on their website. Is there something listed on there? Look up other employees on LinkedIn. Can you gauge anything from what they're wearing? And then dress accordingly. So if you think they're wearing a suit and tie in that kind of office, you want to wear that on Zoom, even if it feels weird. Now, if it's more of a relaxed environment, you can, of course, take it down, but being polished and presentable is still so important. I tell my clients all the time, people take you as seriously as you take yourself, and this is just as important in a virtual interview.
It's almost like building rapport, even in a virtual setting.
Exactly. Yeah. As I said before, we don't want them to feel like we're interviewing at home. We still want to maintain that professionalism.
What is the biggest mistake people make when getting dressed for work or an interview situation?
I think it's what I was just talking about. Like it's being too casual. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Showing
Like,
your personal side.
Yeah, showing your personal side. Like this isn't the time and place for that.
Right.
Maybe down the road, maybe once we're into that job and we're a bit more established, but right now we want to show the best image of professionalism so that when they see us on their screen, they think right away, yep, that is the type of person I hire and that aligns with their skills.
We're in a new year, 2021, new beginning, hopefully back to some sort of restoration of life. But in the interim, until we get there, what is the biggest piece of advice you can give to people as we come into the new year and getting new opportunities and as it relates to this year?
Yeah, I think, putting yourself out there, taking yourself very seriously, as I mentioned before, and just looking at yourself as your personal brand. And that's why sometimes I think people, when they hear these rules about what should I do on Zoom, how should I present myself, they don't take it seriously enough. But this little screen that you're looking right here, this is your personal brand. This is what you're showing. So take this seriously. You have all the skills and the experience and the qualities in place. You want to represent that here because first impressions, they happen almost instantaneously. So if I can present myself to you as the most professional and refined version of myself as possible, then that complements my resume and shows you that I'm a perfect candidate for this job.
Love it. Actionable items, good advice. Thank you so much for being here today, Jordan.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I hope you have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.